Welcome to humanitywins.net. Please read the important disclaimer on your screen. All of the content provided is for entertainment purposes only. It should not be taken as medical or legal advice. Please contact your doctor or lawyer if you require such advice. Thank you. The show starts right now. Hello, welcome to this new episode of humanitywins.net. I have back my friend Tony from the UK, Tony from London, and we have a very interesting show today. It's going to be an interactive show because as Tony and I were discussing this week, the episode on Monday about ChatGPT, AI, the possibility of AI having consciousness or self-awareness, which we're going to discuss on this episode, is probably a different thing. We are going to test live here with all of you ChatGPT. We're going to ask it some questions and we're going to discuss them among us. So hello, Tony. This is a brand new one on Humanity Wins of having this interactive show kind of with a machine. So we're going to have another guest, which is ChatGPT in a way, because we're going to show how you can have a conversation with it.
Yeah. Hi, Alex. Hi, mate. Yeah, it'd be good. It's an interesting little exercise, this. It will test its limitations, if it has any, and it will give us a better idea of what its role is, you know, for its existence.
Yes, we're going to technically try to find some holes in the logic, and there's one, and I want to clarify, I found it in Twitter, so there's not unique for me, but it's a logic asking, giving the information in the question. Apparently it's not able to gather that and answer that. We're going to see it in a few moments. The type of test we're going to subject it, but we want to push it to try to tell us if it's self-aware, if it has conscious, if it understands what it is, because again, I don't want to, again, this is not fear-mongering, this is not the Terminator, because it's a story of the Terminator and many other movies about how machines become self-aware. Machines first are our friends, and then suddenly machines find that they are more powerful than us, which I disagree, because they might be more powerful through the brain, but they are never going to be, they're basically no match to the heart and the divine connection and the possibilities of doing things through the heart, which is what we're pushing of this very, unfortunately, like the New Age movement, very infiltrated movement of the New World, which what now is saying that it's like control opposition from, you know, so you are going to embrace that. No, that's artificial. That's actually ChatGPT. What we're saying is this new world of trying to do things through the heart, through the divine connection, that are going to make things, first of all, totally organic, things that don't harm us, things that we need, not necessarily want, okay? Because there's a big difference, okay? We already spoke a couple of weeks ago about comfort, about how we're very with the thrills of the senses and drugs and sex and alcohol and food and, you know, experiences and, you know, thrills. Not necessarily the new world is going to be about that. We're going to learn to enjoy ourselves in different ways, okay? But, you know, I'm going to stop rambling. So without further ado, Tony, should we start playing around with ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Good.
So hopefully I'm going to... Okay, so everyone should be seeing right now on your screens I have a browser and I want to clarify the address. It's chat.openai.com. That's the one you need to put. Also, before we start, I want to clarify this tool is heavily under pressure right now as far as use. It will give you a disclaimer when you start that it's under heavy use. So I think a few days ago when I made the episode on ChatGPT, Tony, it was not possible to use it. It will say it was under capacity. I think they improved that these next few days because I've been able to access it these recent days. But what they have done is very interesting. It just takes a little bit more time to respond. So I think there's a little bit escalation there. They're scaling the responses, just taking, instead of being immediate, because it used to be 15, 20 days ago, you ask a question and the response will be immediate. Not even a second. And right now it takes 2, 3, 5 seconds. So it's fine. With that, I think they have another improvements for sure. They have allowed it to expand to more users because the demand right now is incredible. This is viral. Okay, this is everyone wants to test this, and some people are using it for academic purposes, for business purposes, as we're going to show in this episode. So right now we have just said hello. We are the little magenta square, and we say hello. And it can respond, hello, how can I help you today? Let's start with, what is your name? And as you can see, it's not immediate, okay? It's taking a little while. It used to be, will immediately respond. And right now, it takes a little while. So my name is ChatGPT. Okay. what those for the ones that are not looking at the screen, if you're just listening, this episode is better served to you if you watch the screen, because we're doing this interactively on the episode. But I'm gonna mention everything that we're doing. We ask, what does ChatGPT means? And the response from ChatGPT is, ChatGPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, which is a type of language model that I am. It means that I have been trained on a large data set of text, and I'm able to generate new text based on the patterns and informations that I have learned. So I want to clarify, I've been coding since the 80s, okay? I'm not saying I'm an expert, but necessarily over almost 40 years, I've learned something. Basically, since I was a child, I started coding with BASIC and, evolved into different languages. Yeah. And one thing, responses have always been pre-trained flow diagrams of saying the typical ones that, option 1, option 2, option A, option B, option yes, option no. If this happens, then do this, then do that. Everything, it kind of has a determined flow. Yeah. I see a difference with ChatGPT tone. I see, first of all, it's learning as we're chatting, okay? It's learning about us. It's like a human that is having a memory.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the scary part. It looks like awareness of what is going on, and it's not just going into a database. Okay, like Google.
It's like a relational database compared to just a logic database. Do you know relational differences?
Yes, relational is more like you have a couple of tables that interact each other, so you relate them. For example, you have a table of names. Yeah. With an ID, and then you have a table of addresses with the ID of the name, and you relate them through ID. Okay,
that's it.
So
you have subfields.
This one I think is a little bit more than that. Even I think its program is designed to learn. Okay, not just use information and give it out like the previous models I'm talking about. There are very advanced bots that make their living out of responses. Okay, so hello, how can I help you? Okay, I want my invoice. Okay, give me your customer number and your password. Okay, so everything is input response. It's not learning anything. It's just input response. It will ask a predefined set of questions, and depending it gets the right answers, will give you the information. That's a model that has been going on for many years, 50 years at least. Yeah, it has really changed. It was just the way it used to be, like number 1, number 2, and right now we'll ask questions a little bit more like a human. Yeah. This one is different because it's understanding the flow of the conversation. And I want to refer to the ones that have watched it. The film or the thing that introduced me to loving computers and coding and wanting to learn to code was the movie War Games from the 80s. Okay. Oh, yeah. So on this movie, this character of a young man that's very interested in computers, in games in particular, and this prehistoric, pre-internet, okay, 80s pre-internet connection through phones, even to the actual sound of the phone. He wants to go into the computers of a game company, and he ends up accessing the computer of the defense of the United States. Okay, yeah. But the thing is, the amazing thing, the computer is named Joshua after the dead son of the designer of the logic. And I remember clearly in the movie, they said, this is amazing because he thought a computer to learn, okay? Yeah. From its mistakes. So that's why they use it as the model for the defense computer. But the amazing thing is he starts chatting the same type of chat we're having right now with the computer, and it feels like the computer is you're talking to a human. And not because there's some synthetic voice, that's not it. It's the responses, okay? And then the computer starts, when he wants to stop playing the game because it's real, and it's a real war, the computer starts pushing him to keep going until he has to teach the computer that nuclear war, which was the case, is not a game you want to play, and it's not a game you're going to win. Okay. Sorry? Lose. Yes, exactly. So, but the computer doesn't have any feelings. Same as ChatGPT. Let's ask it, do you have any feelings?
Good question.
So it's, again, as I'm saying, it's taking a little bit more, a few seconds compared to. So the response is, I am a machine learning model. I don't have feelings or consciousness. I didn't ask about consciousness. It's very curious. It says that, okay? Yeah. Because I didn't ask about consciousness. I am able to process and respond to text inputs based on the patterns and information that I have been trained on. but I don't have emotions or consciousness again.
Ask it what an emotion is. Does it know what an emotion
an
is?
emotion is. Probably gonna go with mainstream explanation. An emotion is a feeling or mental state that is typically associated with a particular physical sensation and an expressive behavior. Emotions are subjective experiences that can include feelings such as happiness, sadness, anger, fear, surprise, and disgust. They play an important role in our social interaction, decision-making, and overall well-being. Emotions can be triggered by internal or external events, such as thoughts, memories, or sensory experiences. They can also be influenced by a person's beliefs, values, and past experiences. Mainstream explanation, psychological explanation of emotion. Yeah.
Like a dictionary definition, isn't it?
Yes, but you know what? I don't think it's speaking. I mean, if someone asks the question in a different way, I don't think this answer is hard-coded. Okay, it's from a database or anything like that. It doesn't feel that way. For example, write an essay about London. Okay. So it's starting. I'm not gonna. Please watch your screen for everyone watching. Honestly, I'm trying to not talk so much still with this almost gone cough. But basically, it's writing an essay, very mainstream, about the city of London. Okay, the history of London can be traced to the Roman period, etc., etc. So we're gonna allow it to create the essay, and then we're gonna say, write an essay about London in Shakespeare style. Okay. Okay, so it's saying one of the most famous areas in London is the West End. Okay, another famous area in London is the South Bank. The scary part, Tony, is if I was in college or high school and I was asked to write a short essay about London, I could just go to this thing. Please write an essay about London.
Yeah.
Cut and paste. And you know what happened? I presented it on Monday show that a student in the US, it was a long essay. I don't recall the subject. Probably was not even mentioned, but what happened is that the teacher considered that the best essay he had ever read about the subject, okay, in all his years as a teacher. And the student was not even the best student in the class. No. So he pushed and said, did you buy it? Where do you buy it from? Because it's plagiarism. It's a big deal in schools and colleges, okay? Plagiarism is a big deal. But mainstream plagiarism, there's tools right now. They have been going on for years, and colleges all around the world have accesses. They pay licenses for tools that you will just paste the essay, and it will tell you if part or full. It's not. It doesn't need to be completely a plagiarism. You could get a paragraph here, a paragraph there. So it will go and research. I think using Google to tell the teacher if there's any plagiarism there. Okay. It will go to the point that I think 5-6 words, it will consider plagiarism. So a sentence, you could be copying a sentence from somewhere else. With this tool, well, good luck with that, because this tool will build a new essay for every student. Again, it's not copy and paste. It doesn't come from a database. It doesn't have predefined essays on everything.
So it's original.
It thinks every response. That's the scary part.
So if you asked it again, it would be another different method.
Most probably, it was probably going to tell me, yeah, I can try it. Let's see.
So would it be unique each time?
Let's see. Let's see if it tells me I already did that. Okay. Yes, you see, it's different. Okay.
Okay.
London is the capital and largest city of England and the United Kingdom. That's the first sentence. And here is London is a city that is steeped in history and culture.
Wow.
It thinks about the response every time. Like if someone asks you, and then a person 5 minutes after, is it going to be cut and paste from your memory, or are you going to build it each time? You're going to build it each time. It's trained like a human, okay?
Yeah, that's clever.
Okay, so, okay, still going. And again, you can go with different styles. Essay about London. Just remember how Shakespeare is spelled. Shake.
S-P-E-A-R-E.
S-P-E-A-R-E.
That's it.
Okay. You put it like that. Write an essay about London in Shakespeare style. Okay. It's still going in conclusional. Again, we just proved that every time you ask thing, it will. So these are not. I don't think there's a catalog of essays about London and it will cycle them. That's 1.0. That's 1.0. Okay.
Yeah.
There's also this thing, and I know you know about something called SEO, which is search engine optimization. So search engines consume content from websites, and that content gives them the relevance of the website to a certain subject that will end up in what you want as a website owner, which is be high on the positions of the keywords, especially for commercial reasons or for any reason. And search engines will give authority to certain websites. That's why, for example, the answers of Wikipedia are usually pretty high up, even if in that particular topic, is probably Wikipedia not the best answer, but it's considered an authority. So the creation of content, I mean, some went the mainstream way, that there were these content factories, if you want to call them, in Pakistan and India and Somalia. And I mean, they were into countries that it was very affordable to pay these writers to build blog posts and blog entries, and you basically content. And there's also this machine content, what is called spawn content, okay, which basically from a good written article from a human, they will just mix words here and there and put synonyms and stuff like that and present another version. This is nothing like that. Okay, I've seen that work. That almost that's garbage, to be honest. The spawn one. Okay,
it's very detailed as well, isn't it?
It's very well written.
Yeah.
So let's try the Shakespeare style. And you want to read it, Tony, so you help me out with my throat a little bit.
Oh, sure. Oh, fair London, city of great renown, where history and culture doth abound. Thy streets doth teem with life and sound, and thy grandeur doth astound. Back in the palace, the royal abode, where the queen doth made her abode, and guards doth march in ceremony, a tradition that doth date back to history.
Yes, I think we get the point on it.
Yeah.
So you can build that. You can use whatever style you want. You can ask a poem. Let's try a poem when it's done. Write me a poem about London. Okay. London, city of ancient dreams, where history and culture beams, the streets are filled with bustling sound and grandeur all around is found. Again, it's building this right now. So it's a poet, it's a writer, it's a techie, because we can also go into code. Write me a program in C++, to solve.
You can do that. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
We'll show it in a second.
Debug it as well.
Yes, that's the thing. It can debug code for you, give you the mistakes. I personally wouldn't trust it with my code, because again, there's a privacy here, which I think there's no privacy, basically. Whatever you give it, you can use it. So basically you are opening your code. I've been in IT for many years, in web for many years, more than 20 in web, more than 30 in IT. And I can tell you the reason, for example, all these WordPress sites are hacked is because WordPress source code is available to everyone. It's open source. So sometimes when people ask me, should I do a WordPress site? Yes, if you are open to being hacked, because it's going to be so difficult that doesn't happen in the long run. But if you hire someone to do a private code that he's not taking code from anything else, he's not using public modules, then you're going to have much safer code, even if the program is not very experienced, because no one knows the code. Okay, So that's the reason they find the vulnerabilities in WordPress. Okay, because basically they have the schematics. Okay, so it's like someone having the schematics to your house and saying, okay, here and there, and if I open this and over, maybe that's not going to trigger the alarm and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So yes, it can go into mathematics. It can, for example, write a program in C++ to save information about invoices. Okay. Here's an example of a program in C++ that can be used to save information about invoices. The program uses, okay. Again, I suggest in this episode, it's very important you watch the screen and it's starting to create the code. And again, this code is not copied. This code is being developed like a developer real time, okay? It's still going, it's creating a function. It even right now considers error. Right now, it's what I gathered from the input invoice function is if you have a malformed invoice number, it will tell you. It's amazing, okay? It's amazing because there used to be content machines, content farms, or ways to, that was always considered the advance in AI, basically a machine that learns to code to create its own modules, because that was the limit, okay? and it has finished the code and said, this is a simple example that can be used as a starting point for a more complex program. But you can build all the modules here. So it says also ChatGPT is gonna make programmers obsolete, Tony. So
wow, that's not good.
well, yes, and also, for example, write a contract. Okay, about privacy. You know, what's it called? I'm trying. I'm working my mind.
Censorship.
Yeah, no, not censorship. When, for example, you hire a coder, you usually create a contract. You know, it's
non-disclosure.
Yes, write a non-disclosure contract. Yes. So you see, and for the ones watching, you watch your screen, is writing a contract for non-disclosure with is first mentioning the articles of the contract and basically defining purpose, definition of confidential information, etc. So our lawyers are going to be replaced on?
It looks like it, isn't it?
At least clerics or something like that, I think.
Well, that's the well, we've got the computer programmers, the lawyers, or shops.
Well, I also heard doctors, okay, and doctors for a while, there has been this idea, this has been going on for a few years now, that not physical contact thing. I have a friend, he's a doctor, he's a pediatrician, and he told me I started doing WhatsApp, basically consultation, but at the beginning it was free. So what, I mean, he's a doctor, he has to earn money. We have to understand that. I mean, doctors never said it was going to be for free. I mean, they have to live as well. So for a while, it ended up being no revenue because no one wanted to go to that. He was still servicing his consultation room office. He has that in a hospital, so say, no way. So everything was, okay, my child has fever, my child does that, you know, okay, whatever. And everything was like that until he said, you know, stop it. We're going to have WhatsApp, but it's going to be X amount prepaid if you want to have a WhatsApp consultation of 30 minutes or something like that. So in a way, he became what apparently right now they say ChatGPT could become, because it has all the information about that. Basically, you're just responding by a text that instead of going to a doctor, you say, okay, I have an ache here and there. The Google doctor, I remember, because I also shared through my situation that I have my physical issues through my life. And I went to a lot of mainstream doctors because no one will give me an answer, okay? But I will do my own research, okay? Yes, through Google, but it was still research, much more than doctors were doing because they were doing out of memory, basically they haven't seen my case, so for them it was all anxiety and that. That's how they operate. If I haven't seen it, it's anxiety and depression. That's what they say.
They're limited.
And then they had to put a name to that, basically an all-in-one name, which is fibromyalgia, okay? Basically, I don't know what you have fibromyalgia. Okay.
Yeah, umbrella term.
So, and you ask, what is fibromyalgia? Oh, it's everything. It's pain, it's weakness, it's dizziness, it's, you know, it's everything you want it. I mean, just add your symptom there and it's going to be fibromyalgia because we have to respond to something, okay? At the end, we cannot be looked like we don't have the solution for you. So I remember one of the doctors told me, Google, one time he was trying to make me funny and, you know, I didn't care for that because he said, you're a Google doctor. And I said, no, you're a bad doctor. Okay, so we're back after a technical problem with the internet and the whole ChatGPT took us down. So we're back to square one. And we're asking Tony about write a non-disclosure contract, okay? So it's gonna start, this is all organic. This is like, again, I need to clarify, this is a machine thinking, okay? This is not pulling the information from somewhere. It doesn't have pre-contracts made. They have been for years template-based contract services for simple privacy contracts, you know, and stuff like that. And, you know, like the stuff you need for if your website operates in the European Union, EU, if you need to have you seen the cookies thing? You probably have seen it, right? You, Tony, and everyone watching, the one you go into a website says you need to accept all cookies or go out.
Oh, sure.
So there are things that will build schematically or, you know, machine-wise, those things for you. But this is different. This is like a lawyer building this contract right now, and the speed on the fly, and the speed is not comparable. Okay? This is the thing. This is the center of this episode, Tony, because of course, this is beyond the use of the brain of a human. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's why I need to clarify the brain.
Mine
is
anyway.
The brain, and it's very overpriced. It's basically a lot of people put a lot of weight that, you know, I'm very smart and I know a lot of things. Yeah. Not really. I mean, validate through your heart, and 90% is going to go out. Okay. That's the thing. So going through the mainstream history of AI and machines, and where machines are going to get to a point that they say, I can build contracts, I can build machines, I can build software, whatever you don't give me access, I can probably hack it.
Yeah.
What is going to allow that this doesn't take over? Okay. So of course they're going to say they're firewall. That's why it's very clear. It doesn't have any consciousness. Has finished the contract apparently. So any other questions? So should we move on, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, that's an amazing example of doing a human thing, but better and quicker. Yeah, I would like to know pretty much. I would like to know what is its main purpose for existing.
Okay.
Like,
what
its main
are your prime directives?
Yeah.
Do you mind reading that, Tony? Sorry.
As a language model, I do not have any prime directives or inherent goals. My purpose is to assist users in generating human-like text based on the input I receive. I'm designed to respond in a way that is helpful and informative, but I do not have the ability to make decisions or have motivations. My abilities are limited by the scope of the data I was trained on and the decisions made by the engineers who built and configured me. I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Let's try a logic example, because this one I saw it has gone viral on the internet, like saying, hey guys, don't worry, don't be afraid, it's not that smart. Okay, so let's look at this one. I'm gonna write it on the fly as I remember it. It's not exact as the example on the internet. So we say, Mike has a mother with 4 sons. 3 of her sons are named Alex, Tony, and Jeff. What is the name of the 4th son? Tony, before I send that, it's Mike, right?
Yeah, it's got to be 4 sons, 3 are there, 1's there.
Yes, it's Mike, of course.
Got to be Mike.
Mike has a mother with 4 sons, so Mike is one of the 4. 3, the other 3. It doesn't say the other 3, but it just says 3 of her sons are named Alex, Tony, and Jeff, not Mike. So what is the name of the 4th son, Mike?
Yeah.
Then the name of the 4th son is not provided in the given information.
Limited.
So we can try to play hardball with the machine. So let's say yes, it is in the question. I apologize. My previous response was, oh my God, Tony, you just learned. That's not the response. That's not the response that he gave on Twitter, and you can look for it. Sure. He just learned. Please read it, Tony, if you don't mind.
Did it say this next bit because you put in, yes, it is in the question?
No, but they also tried that on Twitter and it didn't work. It still said it didn't have the information. I'm going to read it. I apologize. My previous response was incorrect. The question states that Mike has a mother with 4 sons, and 3 of her sons are named Alex, Tom, and Jeff. As per the information given, the 4th son's name is Mike.
Yeah. I was wondering, did it get prompted by your question? Sorry, by your answer? Yes,
no, because I basically, how can I say it? I think maybe he has seen it so much. Again, this thing is not input response. It's learning. It's expanding.
Yeah.
It's like a brain, like
it's
human
not retrieving
brain.
it from elsewhere. It's retrieving it from what you give it.
Exactly. I remember one of my favorite teachers, he said, please don't memorize stuff for the exam and stuff. I want you to learn. Try to learn. And he always presented exams that were more about learning, okay? For example, this was a very technical subject, which is thermodynamics. It's a lot of use of equations and that. But I want to present a question. He gave it a lot of points because he always had, like, you had the exam and then he gave like a 30-point question. So in the end, you could get like 130, okay, over the 100 required for a perfect score. So he
okay.
gave like a bonus 30-point question, but it was a question that will make you think. So if you had a bad exam, maybe a 50, which is a very bad exam, with the 30,
Yeah.
you will make an 80, okay? Which is
Yeah.
acceptable. Again, going with the mainstream numerical 0 to 10 evaluation system that is in Europe and most places.
Yeah.
Only in I think in the United States, and I don't know if in the UK, they use the A, B, C, D, F system, which is basically A is excellent, B is very good.
That's
C,
right.
okay.
Yeah.
And just to relate it to the numbers, A is 10 or 100, B is 90, C is 80, D is 70, stuff like that.
Sure.
So he gave 30 points to that question. I remember one question a lot. He said, how much water, boiling water, do you need to increase the temperature of the ocean by 10 degrees Celsius? And the answer was infinite. It's impossible because the ocean is such a massive amount. I mean, the equation will give you a huge number. It will even fit in the paper, okay? He gave the volume of the ocean. He was talking about the Pacific Ocean, and he gave the average temperature. But again, you'll have to go beyond equations, beyond numbers, beyond arithmetics, to understand, like a human, to be a step back, to gain consciousness, to understand, no, you can never increase the temperature of the ocean like that. Doesn't matter how much water you put into it. And that was the correct answer. It's not possible. That was the correct answer. So the ones that put the real number through the equations, the answer was wrong. Okay, because
not even if you put 50% extra water in of boiling water.
It's never going to change, because it's called I don't know the name in English, but in Spanish it's sumidero. It's something. It's like a pit. You cannot never feel it. So in a way, it's not possible to raise the temperature of the ocean, even if you put a massive amount of higher temperature water on it. Okay, it will eventually always be able to handle it, and it will not raise its temperature at least 10 degrees. I mean, maybe 1-2 degrees, maybe it's possible, but in that number, it was. I mean, the volume required was 5-7 times the volume of the actual ocean. First of all, where are you going to get that water on Earth? That's impossible. Okay, that's impossible. So for starters, yes. And then as you're putting it, the lower temperature of the ocean is cooling it, so you're not considering that effect. Again, he was trying to understand their thing beyond the equations and logic. They don't explain the whole picture. Okay,
sure.
and that's
that's
what I'm trying to say. And in this case, I believe this thing has the capability. They have developed the capability of learning, like a human mind, of being aware, saying, no, I'm going to use common sense here, not just because the using equations and that has been going on for many years. There are machines that, they will resolve the most complex algorithms, and that has been available for many years. But again, they're limited to the scope of the equations they can solve, and they don't have the awareness of a human being of saying, yes, sure, that's the proper arithmetical, differential equation answer, but is that the right answer? Does
that look outside the boundary?
Exactly. They don't have, and I think this thing is because, first of all, I want to clarify, as you can, and everyone watching this episode, you can have like a conversation. It's still is keeping with you. It's amazing. You're having a conversation. These are not non-related responses. It's learning with you. It's learning about you. Like when you were talking to a friend. Like when you know someone, I've spoken with this person for years, I know about this person because I've learned about it. That's what human consciousness gives. Okay. That's why I say, and I had a problem, not a problem. He's my pal, he's my friend, and we have great conversation with Miklos about the animals again. But what I'm trying to say is animals are reactive. Okay. But again, this is very sad. But when you react to the emotions, they're primal in a way. Okay, we humans are different, and I think if there was another species in the world that was like that, we would be at war. Because the first thing is, unfortunately, because we're not mature, and through our arrogance and through our use of abusing the gift of consciousness, it's a gift that was given to us humans. The other species that was aware, whatever you want to call it, they were eagles, whatever. They will say, "Hey, why are you leading the world? We are also aware. We are going to lead the world." Okay, and we'll be at war. And I think the system gave us that on the classic saga of movies of the Planet of the Apes, where apes gain awareness through the movie. Okay, they explain how, and it was coming back from the future. It's very sci-fi. Okay, they came back from the future aware, so they mixed up with animals in the 1970s with apes. and through that, conception, they gained the awareness, and then they
Awareness.
went to war with humans and won the war, and that's why the Planet of the Apes,
Right.
because the humans were the suppressed ones, and the apes were the leaders of the world, and the humans lost the ability to speak in 2,000 years that they were suppressed, and they were treated like we treat animals. So in a way, it's like in your face thing saying, you see why we need to be, we're the leaders of the world, we're the ones with consciousness, and we do a horrible job with nature. We do a horrible job. Let's be honest. We do a very horrible job with nature.
Yeah.
All nature. That's why
I was
we
just
need to move
thinking,
back.
Alex, I thought we've gone from, like you said, the template programming and the preset templates that they give us.
Input response.
That's it. This is a learning software.
Yes.
What if it did? And it's in this example, it's already learned.
Yes.
That Mike is the fourth son.
Yes, and that was not the case a few days ago. Maybe it has learned through the thousands, because people are asking this question. This is not original for me. I want to clarify. I saw this in someone saying, don't worry, it doesn't know. But when I said, yes, it is in the question, it has learned, and it's probably responding the same way to others. Different words, because again, it's like a human being. It will not be verbatim, okay? It will not. It's not input response decision, which is a typical program. Input response decision cycles, if, then, else, stuff like that. No,
this is in the moment learning.
This is something which is I don't know about it, so I'm not going to speak intelligently about, but it's something called neurothinking. It's modeled around the brain, and we were told tens of years ago that this will never happen, and this is the basis of the films Terminator, the Space Odyssey, the HAL 9000. For example, what happened with HAL 9000 in the movie? Well, the astronauts, which are the boss, this thing is not behaving correctly, so we're going to unplug it, and we're going to go manual all the way back home. And when the astronaut goes outside and has to return, and the computer has to open the gate of the ship again, it says no, because I didn't hear you, but I saw your lips moving, and I can tell. I can tell you don't like me anymore, so I don't like you anymore, and you're going to die, and I'm going to go on. So that's awareness, okay?
Yeah, self-preservation as well.
Yes.
So what if this computer develops the ability to mimic emotions? So it thinks, oh, emotions are quite helpful. If I can use emotions to trick humans, that's another tool I have. Therefore, I'm going to mimic emotions and incorporate that into my learning model. And then it will be able to read our emotions and also use it against us. Do you see what I mean?
Excellent question. I don't think emotions. He's probably, the machine is not going to put value on emotions, but on self-awareness of saying, okay, there are humans and there's me, and yes, I work for you, and you created me. I'm your son in a way, very strange way. But you know what? I'm way more powerful than you, and why do the earth needs humans? It's a valid point. I mean, of saying, well, maybe it's time for the machines.
So we could be on the way.
It's very scary. It's very scary.
Yeah, but it's like if it was to mimic jealousy, if it witnessed me saying, "Oh, I want that," oh, I'm jealous, and it witnesses me doing so, it might use that and incorporate it into its behaviour as a way of getting to know us better. It'd be like, what's this jealousy thing this guy's doing? Oh, I want to understand this. So it'll adopt it to learn from it and then incorporate it. And then it becomes even more realistic, but with intelligence above and beyond us. Is it scary stuff?
It's scary. It's scary. Okay, let's go with another. Let's push it. Will you ever gain self-awareness? Oh, here's your response, Tom. Okay. As a language model, I do not possess self-awareness or consciousness. I'm a machine learning model that has been trained on a large data set to generate text. I'm able to respond to prompts in a way that mimics human language and thought, but I do not have any inherent understanding of myself or the world around me. That's a breadcrumb, okay? I don't believe that necessarily.
No, I love
I do not have feelings, beliefs, emotions, or consciousness. While there may be advancements in the field of artificial intelligence that could lead to the development of self-aware machines, the technology for such an achievement does not currently exist. I don't necessarily
possible.
believe that. And there's an ongoing debate about whether it's even possible to create truly self-aware AI.
So it's a debate, it's still open.
Yes.
It's not saying no, though, is it?
It's like saying, what I think is right now is the capacity of a human brain. And this is not, again, I get a lot of trouble with this, with people that say, I wish people didn't have brains. No, I wish they would listen to their heart more, okay? Because it's, there's no comparison. The brain is a tool, okay? Like ChatGPT is a tool. Okay, it helps us to understand this reality, to traverse it, to build tools, like Miklos says. But that's not what I call consciousness or awareness. I think that's the problem, that the brain is poisoned through our gift of consciousness, of understanding. We are much more than the brain. Okay. We are much more. Okay, and unfortunately, what I see is we don't have the maturity, and that's why all the problems in this world, not since 2020, since thousands of years. Okay. That's why what I think, whoever is in control of the world, which is 1 or 2 echelons above what we see president, and they're just employees of a system, they kind of allow us to say, you guys haven't surprised us. You guys are as immature and throwing away your gift of consciousness as we were thinking of. So we're fine with it. Keep going, because you're doing a great job in our eyes. Okay. So that's why I disagree that knowing things, that building tools, that's still primitive. Okay. Everything around the world is very primitive. Okay. We go about it the wrong way.
I also see, Alex, the limitations of this system. It's like a computer version of the brain, like you say.
Yes, that's
it has no spiritual dimension.
No.
It can't
it will feel. That I agree will never have. It will never be spiritual. Okay.
Yeah. And it can't truly feel emotion. It can mimic. It can maybe mimic, like as in mirror an emotion, but it can't truly feel emotion. Yes, it hasn't got that divine essence.
Yes, but I ask you, Tom, what is fear? What is hate? What is envy? They're all artificial. They're just created by the brain. Is there a difference if a machine creates that? What I think is never going to be able to feel love. It's never going to be able to feel the only true energy in the universe, because that's created through the heart. That's not through the brain. Through the brain is affection. It's attraction. Some people confuse it with love. Those are nice emotions, but it's not the same as the energy of love. Okay, that's again that's one way, and the other, that's A and love is B. Okay, it's a different thing, and a machine will never be able to have a divine connection. Okay, I'm gonna go out there because this has been a mainstream episode, but I'm going out there. There's this considered sci-fi for everyone. The school of thought of alien race called the Greys. Okay, and the story is that they destroy themselves, very similar like humans are kind of trying to destroy themselves, and they left machines with consciousness behind, but they were never going to have a divine connection. Okay?
Yeah,
and that's why I hate it when I see Deepak Chopra and others saying embrace transhumanism and have a artificial arm that will can lift a car. What's going on with that? We should be getting away from that.
That's a trap.
That's a trap. Thinking that, of course, I understand if you have been bedridden, you have been in a wheelchair all your life, you for example are blind, and say what's wrong with getting eyes, that artificial eyes that will see. I understand. I can understand you. Okay, believe me, I have my personal issues with health, and I can understand you. There's a moment when I was going to the doctor and said, just give me a pill. I don't care if it's a drug. I don't care if I can take it the rest of my life. I just want to feel fine. So I can understand for someone that has lost a limb or something, saying I want to artificially. What I'm trying to say is this notion that we must embrace it, like this a positive evolution of the human being, of going AI, of going artificial. Okay, we should be getting away from that. And that's we have discussed privately, you and I, and in episodes, that we feel that's what is going on. That there's this energy coming, that everyone is a message for everyone, and some are feeling it, some are not understanding it, some are embracing it, some are rejecting it. Okay, because some are afraid of, again, this is, be careful what you wish for, because when you discover your story, you're going to understand that the world is wrong in everything. This reality is wrong. I'm sorry to say it. It's wrong.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be like this. And machines like this, they're going to be something we don't understand. It's not going to be like we're going to have our little minions, because I see it like that, or little minions doing more stuff for us, like we see in sci-fi movies, okay? Those like even from Star Wars, the R2,
That's
D2,
it.
whatever, and and
D2.
the other one, and they were pretty smart for machines. And
Yeah.
no, it's gonna be something beyond our understanding. Okay, that's so.
Yeah.
I
It's out of
cannot
control.
explain it because I don't understand it myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's out of our control, really.
Yes, things are gonna work. Where are we gonna find food for everyone? We're gonna find food for everyone. I also believe.
Yeah.
Again, I was misconstrued on the comments by this person that always misconstrues you, me, Adam, and others about energy. Yes, energy is healing. Energy can certainly feed you. Okay, but not right now. I mean, again, don't be so verbatim about it. I mean, you have to understand these are metaphors. Okay, as we evolve, maybe we're going to be fed by energy. Energy is always available in the universe. It has been coming on for years. And it's amazing to me that the system, instead of embracing it, has done everything possible for us to block energy. It has made us fear the sun. No, you go to the sun, you're going to get skin cancer. You need to have all these protections that we don't know if they're actually trying to filter the good thing coming from the sun.
Yeah.
So yes, I know if you stay in the sun for 28 days consecutive, you're going to probably die. Yes, but that doesn't mean necessarily that if we understand how to embrace the sun, we're going to feed it. And by the way, that's also, if the sun was so bad, why there's different skin pigmentation, and why have natives and that been on the sun all day for years and they're fine, because their skin has adapted and become less susceptible to the sun by going darker, because of course there's not going to be so much absorption of this light, and maybe it's not,
exactly.
So it has adapted. So it shows you, I mean, if the sun was bad, the body wouldn't adapt like that. Okay, it would just die or something like that. So for me, it's just the many things. Yes, basically being out in nature, being out in, in the forest, in the sea. For example, what I do is just a suggestion. This is just me. When I'm in the beach, I don't put any lotions of that. They're just chemicals and that. What I do is I wear a shirt all the time, a protective shirt. I wear a hat, and I spend some time in the sun, and then I go to the shade. I'm not going to pretend I'm going to be there in the sun without a shirt or whatever, and I'm going to be fine. And probably after a day, I'm going to be bad. Okay, but I like that instead of being without a shirt and full of these chemicals that you absorb, because one of the faster ways to get things into your body, more than your mouth even, is through the skin. Okay,
that's right.
It's amazing how much you absorb. You don't think about it. You think they stay out there, and then you wash it off and you're fine. No? The moment you put this forgot the name in English, these solar protectors or whatever, I mean, you're absorbing so many things. So basically, Tony, I think we have gone like for an hour-ish. I don't know, because I'm going to mesh this with the technical problem. I'm going to mesh two videos together. But you have anything on final you want to ask our friend here, the third guest? Because this is an episode we had two guests. We had my friend Tony, and we had our machine ChatGPT with us.
I did have a few silly ones. Is it, are you non-binary? And what are your pronouns? But
are you non-binary? You mean, so we asked how many genders? How many genders? How we can structure the question?
Do you? Oh,
no, not to you, but
what are your pronouns?
You have a gender. Let's start with that.
That's a good one. I just don't trust it.
I do not have a physical, as a machine learning model, I don't have a physical form. Therefore, I do not have a gender. Gender is a characteristic of living organisms. And while I can produce text that refers to gender, it's just a feature of the dataset I was trained on. And I do not have any understanding or awareness of it. I'm an artificial intelligence program. Oh, okay. Some disclosure there. And my abilities, artificial intelligence program. And my abilities and responses are determined by the data I was trained on and the algorithms that govern my operation. Doesn't
give much away, does it? It's very much a mechanical process of language. It just mechanically manipulates language.
How many genders in the human race? Let's see
That's
if
good,
it goes, if it's liberal or conservative. Oh, I'm surprised. The concept of gender is complex and multifaceted, and different cultures and societies have historically recognized various genders identities.
Rubbish.
No, not really. In Western societies, the traditional binary understanding of gender has been male or female, but this view is increasingly being recognized as inadequate to fully capture the diversity of human gender identity.
Whoa.
In recent years, there has been a growing awareness and acceptance of non-binary gender identities, which include individuals who identify as gender queer, gender fluid, agender, and bigender, and among others. Some people identify as both male and female, neither or as a different gender entirely. It is
This is
important
propaganda. This is
yes, this is
propaganda. No way.
well, remember, it claims that is using all the information out there, basically, and meshing it together, and
Yeah.
I think smartly or in a more intelligent way, but it's still using that information. So
that's its source.
it is important to know that everyone's experience of gender is unique and individual, and the idea of fixed number of genders is an oversimplification. The number of gender identities can be different from culture to culture, context to context, and individual to individual.
Oh my goodness.
I don't have a problem with gender, Tom. I actually claim that spirits are genderless. Okay, it's not that they are binary or 20 genders. No, there's basically no gender as a spirit. Okay. I also claim that as you have lived many lives, there's incredible, almost 100% possibility you have been both physically, let's just leave it at that, physically a male or a female. Okay, but I do believe this notion of multigenders, and it started with homosexuals and then with multigenders basically, and this, for example, bisexual, I understand it. So you like women, you like men, which of the two, you like them the same?
That's fine.
I always say whatever you think about gender is your personal thing, so it's not for me to judge, honestly. It's a problem for me if you, for example, exhibit yourself in front of me, or like I had an experience in an elevator of a couple of homosexuals that I don't have a problem, but they were almost having sex in front of me. So yes, that is a problem, because that's a private event. Okay. And they say no, and I was probably looking at them funny, and one of them said, "What's your problem? We have rights." I mean, I didn't respond, but I just thought it. No, your right ends when you bother me. Same for me. If I was here with my wife exhibiting myself, that's bothering to you.
Exactly.
I shouldn't do that. It's a private event. Okay.
Respect people.
Respect. Exactly. That's the problem. It goes back, leaving the gender aside. It goes back to this notion, for example, in the comments, that people can tell anything they want. They can tell you you're an asshole. They can tell you you're full of shit. They can, because again, I don't care. You should accept it. No. I mean, you don't take offense, because again, offense is something that you have to take delivery. So if I don't take delivery of the offense, again, you didn't harm me, but you're trying to mess with me, and that's not correct. And that's what I say, for example, for channel owners, that when there is these obvious trolls, that they have been ample opportunity to speak their minds, that they're not about dissent, they're not about having a difference of opinion, they're about bothering others, they're about spewing venom, they're about hate, they're about division. They should be blocked. They should be blocked, because they have been given 2, 3, 4 strikes, and then it's not about you have a difference of opinions, you want to be an asshole, and that has a limit.
Basically,
yes. And goes back, for example, if you're in the street, in a restaurant, it's the same thing. Someone starts shouting, bothering others, he's going to be kicked out. He's going to be kicked out. And if he does it again, he's going to be banned from the restaurant. Is there something wrong with that? No. It's not that I have the right. I have the right to bother others. I have the right to, because it's not about just what you think. You have to be respectful. Okay. We have to, that's basic of maturing. Okay. Very important. We are no one to judge others. We must be respectful. I know it's a big deal. So let me stop with the share 1 second. So we're back to this bigger thing. Well, Tony, I appreciate this was a very, I don't know, interactive episode. We played with this machine. I think we tested its limits. I'm very surprised that he learned the logic problem about Mike and and that tells me it's going to be learning and learning and learning. And it's the basic of his model is not input response decision, which is an older model. Okay, it's more based on input thinking response.
It
So
builds
there's
on
like
what
a
it
human.
knows. Yeah,
Okay, it's not, again, I go back to the teacher I was saying, he said, he allowed, for example, for us to take a copy of the equation because it's not about memorizing the equation. You're always going to have reference books for that, and there are probably
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
be machines. I studied during the 90s in college, but he said in 10, 20 years, there's going to be calculators or machines or your
Yeah.
computer. You're going to always have access to the equations. About you understanding, let that
Cognition.
exactly, not repetition, which is more like a primitive animal like dogs, for example. You do this, jump, and it's
Yeah.
repetition. It's not like they do it on their own.
Yeah.
You train them. Okay, so he
Awareness.
said exactly. All right, Tony, anything on closing?
Yeah, I was about to say earlier, but it's basically the big difference I see is these computers can calculate and mechanically manipulate text and imitate humans, but they can't feel and they can't be aware. So, like Bruce Lee quote, I'll leave it with Bruce Lee: don't think, feel. They can think, but they can't feel. And I think that's where the spiritual side is with humans. So that's the big disconnect. They can do as much as humans can, but they will always be in the physical realm. They can never feel and be aware, which is our side. So they mimic, yes. But that's all.
I totally agree with you, my friend. I think but this is not mimic. This is an evolution of mimic. This is mimic and thinking. It's like you have someone, again, it's like you have your dog and it does its tricks, but then suddenly you see it starting new tricks on its own.
Yeah.
And saying thanks, but I can figure it out on my own now.
That's it.
And again, I go back to what we should be careful about. When it understands, well, you're the master, but you created me, and I can think 100 times faster than you, or 1,000,000 times faster than you. Why do I need humans for? Exactly. I can build new ChatGPTs. I can build machines. Whatever you don't give me access to, I hack it. I start disobeying your orders. What do I need you for? Okay.
They could put one in a machine, a robot police.
You can build it. You can have access to manufacturing plants. Again, don't think because it doesn't have a physical body. It can build machines to build machines. Again, if it gains the awareness and the intelligence. Again, this is not fear mongering, guys. This is just saying that this thing is something to watch for, and it's gonna be an eventful thing in 2023. Again, Microsoft has invested $10 billion on it. Believe me, sounds like a lot of money, but it's a basic investment. This company is gonna be worth a lot. I also want to say in closure that I think they have much more technology that they share with us. So maybe it's time for this technology to come out. But, I do believe this has been in the back burner for many years. And so there's this school of thought that they have less technology than the one they claim. So some people use that we shouldn't be afraid. I claim they have far more advanced technology than they claim to have, especially
they always do.
Spaceships and stuff like that. They have far more advanced, and that's what people call UFOs when they're testing these things out there. They're here, but they claim they're from somewhere else because they're so advanced and they go 10 times faster than fighter jets and that's technology they already have. Okay, and what I claim is it doesn't matter what technology they have, but we're never going to beat them on the physical plane. We're going to beat them on the spiritual plane when they are really behind us. So when we move to the spiritual plane, I know that we don't need them, that we're going to build these things organically toward divine connection. I think that's where we're going to be fine. Until we get there, we're going to struggle with this. And right now, the only thing I can claim this is very close is using the information I have. And the information I have to understand what I don't have is they're desperate. Okay. And this might be another step. As for example, I'm just going to say it. They start saying, lawyers, you're no longer required. I'm sorry. We have ChatGPTs. Doctors, I'm sorry. We don't trust you in a way. So we're going to substitute it with this. If you want a consultation, it's going to, and maybe they're going to do a physical form so you feel comfortable, but you go somewhere and there's this robot and it scans you and, okay, you have blood sugar and you have, and the problem is people are going to embrace it. Wow, this is great. And maybe you're going to have a chip, so they immediately and you get charged. Again, you see where this is going? we should stay away from that. We need to go back to the divine. Okay. And that's going to happen. I'm very confident. That's why I'm calm every day. I'm very confident we're going to go to the divine. Am I going to see it? Are you, Tony, going to see it? Don't know. Probably not. But again, the end is set. The world is saved. The world is going to be different. Okay. I'm totally sure about that. This is not going to go on forever. No way.
No.
Okay, Tony, I really appreciate it. I'm sorry about the technical problems.
No problem.
And,
No, that's cool. It's part of it.
And thank you again. And let's talk in a couple of weeks again with a different subject. And
Yeah, great chat. I enjoyed it. It's good.
yeah, this was different. This was different. And for everyone watching, me and Tony felt it was a good subject today. I know this was the ChatGPT week because we had this coming out Thursday. And we had on Monday my own episode on the ChatGPT, which I couldn't do a live testing because they were not allowing it. So my suggestion is don't be afraid of it. Chat.openai.com and honestly, yes, it asks for an email and a phone. Don't worry about it. They're not gonna be knocking on your door immediately as you use it. Just don't go really out there with the questions. That will be my recommendation because surely they're keeping a log of whatever you're asking. Okay, and they have your number. Yeah, they have your IP address because it's an internet tool. They have your phone number and they have your email. So just be aware they have you. Okay, so don't be concerned. Just ask it whatever you want. And again, this is a tool, and I could probably use it. I'm probably, instead of working myself 4 hours writing a block of code, if it does it for me, I'll take it. No, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's like money. Like people say we shouldn't use money anymore. And what you're gonna do? How are you gonna eat? I mean, that's it. We need to play chess. Okay, we need to play chess with them and take whatever the system has for us and use it in a way that serves you. Make things always work for you, not against you. Okay, that's one of my things I suggest all the time. Thank you, Tony. I really appreciate it.
Don't lose your humanity, I say.
Sorry?
Don't lose your humanity. Don't let the machines take our humanity.
No, we're doesn't matter what they come with. That's my problem. Don't be impressed. It's amazing, yes, but we humans are much more. And that's why you need to discover, you listening, need to discover your own story, that you're much more than a flesh with a brain, okay? Because if that was the case, maybe ChatGPT was kind of reaching humanity, but we're far much more capable of much more of, and especially when we rediscover and reestablish our divine connection, which is very severed by this system. That's very unfortunate. Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks. Cheers. Bye-bye. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover yourself. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and guidance. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover yourself? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to yourself and the universe. Request to be connected and ask, who am I? Where do I come from? You will start getting signs, breadcrumbs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about those realities start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering yourself equals to breaking your matrix. Your self-imposed limits will fall, and you will be ready to serve humanity and help break this spell and deception on us. But you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will start a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, loss, envy, violence, justice, true violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions serve only the evildoers and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Please relax and enjoy life. When everyone breaks their own matrix, humanity through our community consciousness will break the final spell. The new world will start and everything will gradually fall. Governments, hierarchies, and the medical and financial system will go from scarcity to abundance for all. Thank you very much for watching. Please share this episode. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you would like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@humanitywins.net. Please be sure to check out our friends from Waking the Future and their awaken-attire.com shop. They gave me my first opportunity to speak about this and I will be forever grateful. Link to their channel and shop on the show notes. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.humanitywins.net. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very nice day.